2019 is shaping up to be an incredible year for JRPGs, both in regards to the release of remasters, remakes and ports, but also for the release of brand new games, some even coming from brand new IPs. How's it going everyone? Tazen here, and today we're going to go through 5 great JRPGs that are worth trying that were released worldwide in 2019. Now we're going to be going in order of release date from start to end of 2019. Some of these games already having been released and some still to come that look very exciting to play. So starting off firstly with Kingdom Hearts 3. Developed and published by Square Enix, Kingdom Hearts 3 was released in Japan on January 25th and worldwide on January 29th for both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The third mainline game and the 9th game in the action RPG series, Kingdom Hearts 3 is directed by Tetsuya Nomura and co-directed by Tai Yasui. Playing as the main protagonist Sora, the story revolves around the main characters trying to gather the 9 Guardians of Light and gain the necessary powers in order to prevent Xehanort from obtaining the Keyblade, which he intends to use to unlock Kingdom Hearts, allowing him to uncover the secrets of the past and recreate the game's universe in his image. This entry acts as the conclusion to the Xehanort Darkseeker saga, but paves way for a new yet overarching story about the Foretellers, who are original Keyblade masters that were born long before the events of the game and the separation of the worlds. As part of the gameplay, Sora obtains new Keyblades with unique transformations while exploring many Disney worlds, with 2 other characters also being briefly playable. Now with a playtime of around 20 to 40 hours for the main story, it has received some criticism for being a little shorter than hoped, for being slightly too easy on its hardest difficulty at launch, and for having several plot points that were touched upon yet weren't fully expanded upon in the story. Fortunately, the game has since received a harder critical mode added to the game, and it will receive a DLC episode called Remind, which will expand upon parts of the story, include some new weapons and transformations, as well as incorporate more playable characters into it. Currently, the game holds a score of 39 out of 40 on Famitsu's Japanese magazine. A second great JRPG that I recommend is worth trying is God Eater 3. Developed by Marvelous and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, God Eater 3 was released in Japan on December 13th, 2018, but worldwide on February 8th, 2019 for both the PlayStation 4 and Windows PC. The third mainline game in the action RPG series, God Eater 3 is the sequel to God Eater 2 Rage Burst. Playing as a brand new main protagonist, the story takes place after a catastrophic event devoured the Fenrir organization. With a revamped battle system, this game now features a new type of God Eater called Adaptive God Eaters. It features dual wielding and it also incorporates multiplayer with up to 8 players. Fortunately, this game has received a lot of support since its initial release, receiving lots of new patches and quality of life updates, in addition to a Nintendo Switch port being released on July 11th in Japan and the following day worldwide. This game currently holds a score of 32 out of 40 in Famitsu's Japanese magazine. The third JRPG released worldwide in 2019 that I recommend is worth trying, at least from what we know about it so far, is Astral Chain. Developed by Platinum Games and published by Nintendo, Astral Chain will release worldwide on August 30th, 2019 for the Nintendo Switch. The first game of its name, Astral Chain, is a brand new action RPG being directed by Takahisa Taura, who is the lead game designer for the critically acclaimed Nier Automata, making his first debut as a director. The game is also being supervised by Hideki Kamiya, who was the director of the first Devil May Cry game, and later the creator of the Bayonetta series after co-founding Platinum Games. Playing as the rookie officer in the elite police task force called Neuron, the story takes place in a futuristic cyberpunk-like city called the Ark. After unknown dimensional gates appear which are connected to an alternate dimension called the Astral Plane, it brings from it dangerous monsters that invade the city and cause havoc. Using controlled versions of these monsters, known as legions, you can control both the protagonist and the legion at the same time, allowing you to execute fast-paced fluid combos with unique combat styles and abilities that vary depending on the legion you use. On top of the game's standard release, there is also a collector's edition featuring an additional 152-page artbook, a soundtrack selection CD, and a Shikishi artboard illustrated by manga artist Masakazu Katsura. With the team working behind this game, I have positive hopes for it and I hope it does really well, especially to warrant potentially more games in this series or even just a solid standalone game. The fourth JRPG released in 2019 that I reckon is worth trying is Cobain. Developed and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, Cobain will release worldwide on September 27th, 2019 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Windows PC. The first game of its name, Cobain is a brand new action RPG being directed by Hiroshi Yoshimura for the Unreal Engine 4, which was announced back in April 2017. Playing as the main protagonist, you awake with amnesia in a post-apocalyptic environment sealed off from the rest of the world. As a revenant, you're an immortal being that used to be human, now possessing unique supernatural abilities, yet requiring blood or a blood-like substitute to sustain your bloodthirst and maintain control of your sense of self. With level up mechanics, the gameplay is also related to Dark Souls in nature, being a third-person action-based game requiring well-timed actions and careful use of abilities, accessories and items. Because of its art and story style combined with its gameplay style, it's been dubbed as Anime Souls. The game was initially scheduled to release in September 2018, but was delayed by a year to improve the game. It had a closed network test for players around the world to experience the opening part of the game and an online multiplayer part of a dungeon, and allowed people to then after provide feedback on it via an official survey in order to help learn how the game could be further improved prior to its launch. And the fifth game released in 2019 that I believe is worth trying is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3. Developed and published by Nihon Falcom in Japan and published by NIS America worldwide, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 was released in Japan on September 28, 2017, but is releasing in North America on September 24, 2019, Europe on September 27, 2019, and Australia on October 4, 2019 for the PlayStation 4 after finally being localized in other languages. The 13th entry in the overarching Legend of Heroes series, but the third game in the Trails of Cold Steel series, this traditional RPG was directed by Takayuki Kusano. Trails of Cold Steel 3 is a direct sequel to the previous two games in the Cold Steel series, playing as the main protagonist Rein Schwarzer, who is now a military professor, alongside his students and military school friends from the previous two games. The battle system plays like a traditional RPG with turn-based mechanics and mapping of battle commands with menus like its previous two games. However, it now has faster battles, more seamless transitions into them, and also allows the ability to use specific buttons for battle commands instead of the menu solely. The game was positively received in Japan, being the best-selling game in its week of release, and also obtaining the highest digital game sales in the series. Hopefully this game will be positively received worldwide too, especially to pave the way for an English localization of Trails of Cold Steel 4, which was released in 2018 in Japan and is actually the final game in the Cold Steel series. So fingers crossed that does well, and then we end up getting the fourth game here, marking the completion of the Cold Steel series. So there we have it. There are 5 great JRPGs released or releasing in 2019 that I believe are worth trying. I very much love those that have already released in 2019, and I'm very excited for those that are still to come in 2019. But these are just 5 JRPGs releasing 2019. So let me know, one, your thoughts on all these JRPGs and whether you're excited for those that are still to come, whether you enjoyed those I mentioned that have already released, and also some others from 2019 that you recommend are worth trying. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If there are any changes or even mistakes in this video, please see an addendum below in the comment section, which will provide updates to that information. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll enjoy, and until next video, stay spot on.